Hey, what's up, everyone? I actually got my tripod tonight because my head hurts and I don't want to be moving the camera around with my hands like I was the other night. I'll give people a minute to come in here, and if no one comes in, it's fine. I'll just ramble for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll go to bed. We're at the end of our trip. We've managed to navigate all the way across the United States. And that doesn't sound like a major feat, obviously, for a lot of people, but considering the health issues I have going on, the car issues that I have going on, thankfully my car is hanging in there. Hey, what's up, Andrew? How's it going? Yeah, I'm in Florida. By the way, great blog. So your Target visit to get chips and everything. Your adventure earlier was awesome to watch. Hey, what's up, Caballero? So yeah, I am in Florida. I'm about maybe 2.5 hours away from Orlando. But we're just gonna have to drive it tomorrow. Yeah, that's a feat. Yeah, it was a lot. Hey, what's up? And 901, how's it going? Yeah, so I'm tired. I just got out of the shower. I'm beat to hell. This has been a long trip. In my car without a U-Haul attached to it, which by the way, I had to get a hitch installed on my car. YouTube is being throttled tonight, so much lag. Oh, is it? Could be me too. I mean, I'm using like the hotel internet, so there might be some lag from this too. So I apologize. I did buy like really high speed internet in my new apartment, which I'll get to tomorrow, but the internet won't be set up till Sunday or Monday, I think. So yeah, with everything going on, so because I have to drag the U-Haul, I had to get a hitch installed to drag it, and then that's been slowing me down. So I've only been able to go like 50 miles an hour on the freeway for the most part. So it's taken us 6 days to get here, and I believe you could make the trip from coast to coast in like a day and a half, 2 days. Maybe, I mean, if you want to take breaks, you could do it in 3 or 4 days. But yeah, it's taken 6 days, and we're still not even in Orlando yet. I still have a few more hours to go. Um, can't see you, Seek. It just came up. What's that? You guys? Oh, you can't see me, or you can now? Um, what's going on? Can you see me? Can you hear me? What do I need to do? It sounds like Andrew can hear and see me because he was responding to my stuff. I can see you now. Oh, I see. Okay. The lagging. Gotcha. Um, so yeah, I'm here. If you have any questions, you want to talk about stuff. YouTube is running incredibly slow. Gotcha. Well, I'm sorry if that's coming from my end too. Like I said, I'm on internet here at the hotel. So, hey, Seek, how's the move going? What's up, Brandon? So we're not moved yet. I mean, I'm in Florida, but I'm not at the new apartment yet. I won't get there till tomorrow. Probably, I'm hoping around lunchtime. And what sucks so bad is that I ordered some stuff on Amazon the other day, and Amazon said, hey, we're trying to ship like essential things to people. Is it cool if we don't ship your items? Like, you have an option. You can pick to get them next week, and we'll hold them for a few days so we can get some essential supplies out. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, I don't need like my stuff it's not an emergency. I was just ordering it, so that way it would come in, like maybe over the weekend or next Monday or Tuesday. And they're like, yeah, cool. So we'll hold you pick the option, we'll hold it. You'll probably get it next like Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm like, great, that's even better. I order it, and hey, what's up, Ahmed? How's it going? Um, and I ordered it, and then it's all showed up today, and it's all sitting on my porch. And I'm like, man, I hope it's. I don't know my neighborhood. I haven't been there physically because I got the apartment online and over the phone. So I'm like, I called the office and I told them to go get my packages and hold them, or to tell the delivery guy to drop them off tomorrow, and they never got back to me. So I hope those packages are still there, because I was like, that sucks. That was like like $100. Some of the stuff that showed up today was like $100 worth of stuff to decorate my apartment with. So hopefully it's all there. Did I see the Stegman podcast? I have not listened to that. I don't want to, actually. Yeah, I was gonna buy stuff on Amazon. Wouldn't be here for 3 weeks. Yeah, some of them are listed as 3 weeks, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can still choose like 4 to 5 day shipping. So that's what I did. I was like, yeah, I was like, and then they said, we'll hold it for a couple extra days. So I'm like, all right, so 7 day shipping. I'm like, that's great. Yeah, I'll get them next week. So when they showed up today, it's like, come on, dude, I'm not there. I don't live there yet. And the neighbors are going to be like, why the F are there packages here? Nobody lives there. So yeah. Hey, glad you and Nick are safe and getting closer. Sorry if this annoys you, but would the Venom 2 trailer be delayed due to the virus? I don't fucking know, dude. Yeah, I've been getting that question by like a million people. And I get it. I'm not mad. I know, obviously I'm not mad that you guys ask me those questions, but when I get them in abundance, it's like I'm driving across the country. My life is my forefront focus, and I'm trying to keep an eye on the virus and like how it's affecting the cities I'm traveling through. So like I have way more important stuff to talk about, I mean, to like deal with than Venom. And I know that sounds like weird to say because a lot of you guys are like, yeah, but your whole life on YouTube is Venom stuff. It's like, I know, but the real world is still the real world. So I have no idea about the virus affecting the release of Venom. I mean, as far as I know, it's still being edited. We've said, and that's the other thing is like people ask me these questions. I'm like, watch my show, just watch my show and listen, because I already discussed this before. I said it's as far as I know, it's still being edited. And so yeah, so as far as I know, it's still being edited and it's still planned for October 2nd. Until Sony says otherwise, I'm gonna assume that's what's gonna happen. So no, you're not annoying me, but it's just like it's like, hey, I already answered this. But and I don't expect everyone to watch all my videos, but I figure if someone's asking me from 3 different accounts, because that's the other thing is there's some like Let's Talk accounts and there's other Venom Instagram accounts. And honestly, I feel like they just try to use me for information because I've answered like sometimes, and I tested the waters. Like someone who runs a Venom Instagram account, they like wrote me. And by the way, Emergency Awesome is clickbait. Yeah, he sucks. I hate that guy. Yeah, he sucks. Don't watch him. So was that Charlie? Is that his name? Yeah, I can't stand that guy. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but the way he packages his videos are all clickbait bullshit. He's a hack. So I don't even know what I was talking about. I forgot something about Venom 2. I mean, as far as I know, it's still coming out October 2nd. I don't know if anything's changed, but if it does, I'll wait till Sony announces that it changed. I'm not going to go off some website that says it changed because honestly, if nothing else, watching like the Snyder Cut movement and watching other things, I've seen just how little actual YouTubers and websites actually know about what's really happening and stuff. And so I watch them and I go, wow, they're wrong 90% of the time. Every time I click on one of their videos, something's wrong. So I'm just like, so I don't use them as sources. I don't use a lot of websites as sources anymore. That moving forward into season 4 and 5 of this show, I'm going to probably source things less unless I feel like it's a concrete piece of information because there's just so many hacks out there that are just trying to just pump stuff out because they have to. They're on a quota. We got to turn in 10 stories a week or 20 stories a week. So they just make shit up. And then they say they have like sources. I saw this one guy, he's like, I have 3 sources at Warner Brothers that told me this. And you're just like, you're a dude in your apartment, aiming a camera at you, like doing this. You don't even have a tripod. You have bad lighting, and like there was some guy, I don't know, he's like a big dude, and I saw a clip of his, and I was just like, dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, I played the Batman Telltale stuff. It's good stuff. It's not. I debunked the main image of Twitter last week. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Lonely. Yeah. So anyway, what I was mentioning, what I talked about earlier, is that I have other. So someone will ask me, like, they run like a Venom account, and they'll message me and go, hey, do you think this is real or fake, or do you think when do you think this will happen, or blah blah blah. So I answered because I'm like, oh, they're asking me a question. I answer them, and then they go and report it, and then they're like, hey, I heard, like, or like it looks like Venom 2, like is this, or the trailer might come out around here, and I'm like, so they came and asked me, and then I gave them the information, and then they went out there and just said it like it's their information. And so after that happened multiple times by like 2 or 3 of the same people, I was like, okay, I'm done answering questions. So when people ask me things like, do you think Venom 2 will be affected by the virus? It's not that I'm annoyed by it, but I don't know if you're a fake account for one of those Venom Instagram accounts. So, because sometimes they'll create like 4 or 5 different accounts, and they'll like, all ask me the question 4 different ways, but it's the same person, and they're just trying to like, get the information out of me. So yeah, I don't trust anybody. So I'm not symbiote gospel. No, I'm not. I don't know. That's the thing, is like some of the stuff I just don't know. I mean, like a lot of people, sometimes I'll make an educated guess based off of information we get, but typically I'm not, I shouldn't be anyone's source. I'm just a big fan of Venom. and I'm trying to build a community of other Venom fans. By the way, thanks for the thumbs up, appreciate that, and the 6 people. Hello, everyone. So to me, I'm not any of that stuff. I'm not a gospel. Praise be Siike. Don't do that shit, lonely. Don't do that. Don't do that. Thanks for cheering me up, but don't do that. So no, I'm just a fan like all of you are. So it's like, but I try the information I do try to bring you guys. I try to bring you the best that I can. It doesn't mean I'm always going to be right about it. It's just I'm trying to do the best I can. Thoughts on the Cosmic Wonder YouTube? He also covers Venom 2 info. Who's that? Man, you have to send me a link. I don't know who the Cosmic Wonder is. Send me a link. Do you follow me, Ahmed, on Twitter or Instagram? If you do, shoot me a link in a private message. I'll check out that person's channel. Says 3 LC keys and all symbiote knowledge will be granted. Say three Hail Sikis. Oh my God, that's blasphemous. I'm not even a religious person, but I'm sure I'm going to go to hell just because you mentioned my name in a Hail Mary joke. Cosmic Wonder seems a little sus to me. Does he, Caballero? Yeah, I mean, I followed you on Instagram. Yeah, shoot me a message and send me the link, and I'll check out his channel. That's okay, Lonely. You're fine. So yeah, so sometimes now when I get questions from people, I just don't know where it comes from. Hey, look at that, the thumbs up. Thank you guys for the 3 thumbs up. I just don't know who to really, trust, because sometimes I'm just giving an answer like, I don't know. I just go like, I don't know. Yeah, sure. April trailer. I don't know. And then they'll go, trailer confirmed April, and I'm like, you asked me that 10 minutes ago. And then now 1 minute ago, you made this post that says confirmed trailer. I'm like, I'm not your source, dude. Don't use me as a source, so after that happened a couple times, I kind of don't answer questions now sometimes. And I know that makes me look like a dick to some people. It's like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't know. And whatever I say, people are going to think it's true, because there are still people that think I know people in at Sony and stuff like that. And though I do know someone at Sony, but not someone who gives me Venom information. And the people I knew that I ever got information from, they all worked at Fox on the X-Men movies. And that's why I never made an X-Men show, because I never wanted to accidentally repeat something they told me in confidence. So I was going to do a whole X-Men show. And then when I couldn't, I was like, I guess I'll do Venom, because I like Venom a lot. But this was originally going to be an X-Men show, and I was just going to talk about X-Men all the time. But since that kind of got taken away from me, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, because I don't want to blurt out the ending of Logan, before it comes out on accident or, or whatever. So I don't know anyone in the Venom 2 camp at Sony. So I don't have real information. Now more than ever, people are desperate for content. There's nothing happening. You aren't a no part Siike. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's the thing, is a lot of people are desperate for content. News, especially right now, is really slow, and I understand fans are concerned. X-Men was my gateway to geekdom. X-Men was mine. Hey, what's up, Sid? How's it going? How's your hamster doing? X-Men was mine. I mean, I have the En Sabinor tattoo here with the X-Men diamond with the 4 horsemen, and then I have Inhumans Black Bolt tattooed right underneath it, because those are 2 of my favorite teams at Marvel. I love Fantastic Four also, but I'm a huge Inhumans fan. So big that I've never even seen the TV show, because I saw the trailer for it and I was like, nah, I'm not going to watch that. But yeah, X-Men, I love X-Men. They're the best. Not right now. I think the current X-Men comics suck. Like the Jonathan Hickman stuff. I do not like it. It's a too much of a departure. I'm all for new versions of characters, but it's too much of a departure. Like the X-Men, they act like Pharma Bro. Remember that dude who got a drug, and then he bought a drug and something for pain or something, and then he charged $1,000 a bottle for it. She's good. More videos coming, because why not? Hey, why not? He has made a video where he talks about the leak that says Venom and Carnage will take place in a hospital from months ago. I mean, so what? I heard the Inhuman show was not great. Yeah, I mean, it looked terrible. The final fight, by the way. Oh, the final fight's in a hospital. I mean, whatever. Who cares? Who cares? And why is it a big deal for that guy on YouTube to feel like that's the flag he's gonna play? So what happens when the movie comes out and there's no hospital battle in the end? Is he going to delete that video and make it look like he never made it? because that's what happens to a lot of these YouTubers. They'll go back and that's why I number my episodes. And that's why I'm pissed that one number is missing. And that was because the person I made the video on, they asked me politely to take it down because they felt like I was being like too positive about what they do in the industry. And although I didn't agree with what they were asking me to do, they still asked me to take it down. And I'm not a D-bag. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll take it down. But I try to number my episodes so that way you guys see that I don't go back and delete stuff. If I get something wrong, I stand by the fact that I was wrong. So yeah, not a lot of other YouTubers do that. They'll go back and delete things. They're like, oh, I think I said this in this video, and they'll delete it. Even though the internet remembers for the most part, but then they're like, where's the video? I don't see it. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm just shooting the shit. I don't have anything planned. I know it's a Venom vlog episode, and I know I haven't talked too much about Venom. I'm a little afraid to talk about Venom right now. Donnie Kate seems to be having some kind of like meltdown on Twitter, and you know me, I'm never trying to take personal shots at the guy. I'm always just critical of his Venom run and how much I haven't liked it. But man, lately he's getting pissed off at people. Hickman is genius at writing an overcomplicated mess. Yeah, I mean, Hickman's great at stuff. I love a lot of his stuff. I was excited when they announced him for X-Men, and then I read House of X and Powers of 10, and I read those whole series, and I was like, I dropped them at first. I got 3 issues in, and I dropped them, and then I reread them, and I was like, no, these suck. Siike had a theory about that church. What if Carnage is created in the church and a twist of the Venom origin? That could be cool. Hey, thanks, Lonely. I trust you too. Yeah, that would be neat. I'm sure there's a pivotal scene at that church. We'll see. Like, I don't know. There's like, I don't know. I don't want to be the source of like major spoilers like that. I mean, the only reason, like, I think in the first movie we talked about a few spoilers because they seem to have gotten out there, and it seemed, and a lot of you guys were writing me about it and kind of spoiled some things for me. So I was like, all right, well, okay, well, I guess we can talk about it now because it's out there and spoiled. But yeah, all those people that are like, oh, I saw a cut of the movie, or I read the script, or the script leaked, and blah blah. And it's like, yeah, sometimes those script leaks can be real things because it's really easy for one of those things to get out there sometimes. But also, typically, when someone gets a script, if they're working on a movie or they work at a studio, if they're sent a script to read, it's usually a physical copy, not an email, and it has their name watermarked on it, so that if it ever gets leaked, you know exactly who leaked it. So that's why sometimes I don't believe leaks when it comes to like, oh, the screenplay leaked out there. It's like, well, there's a possibility of that happening, but it's very unlikely that it would leak without someone's name on it, in which case that person would be fired if that leak got out there. So yeah, but yeah, Donnie Kate seems to be having like just some crazy days. I think he said something pretty innocent the other day. He said he like was quoting Stan Lee or something. It was like Excelsior. And I think Peter Samedi, who was like an alternate comics guy, kind of jumped on him and was like, I get where Peter's coming from, because Peter, I think, feels like backstabbed by the comic community. So I think he's just like uber sensitive about that kind of stuff right now. I did look it up, and his latest video on Venom 2 was talking about Cletus Cassidy's first reveal. I could have sworn there was more, but I don't know. I mean, I really don't want to sit around and talk about some other YouTuber, but thank you. The script leak was not fun to clean the floor. Exactly. I think the Black Widow leak for Taskmaster is true because there's a lot of evidence. I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes the leaks are true. Information leaks, sure. And sometimes script pages, absolutely. But typically when something leaks, it has someone's name on it, and then that person ends up getting in a lot of trouble, if not fired. And considering movies are being shut down for like 3 months, I would assume firing is what's going to happen to people who leak stuff. So yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Peter seems like a nice guy, and but I think he's just super sensitive right now because of all the stuff that's going on. Donnie needs to get a hold of your friend. I had to unfollow the alternate guy. I didn't want to see the arguments. Yeah, that's the only downside is so. Yeah, Peter, like I said, he seems like a nice guy, but lately he's been on a tirade of just going after people. And it's weird because I know he knows the industry, but some of the stuff he says, I'm like, well, have you ever asked what's your favorite Venom story from the comics? Yes, I've been asked that a million times. I would say, I don't know, it's a tie. I guess I like the first Venom story. I like Lethal Protector, and I really like The Madness and Enemy Within are two really great ones. And I like The Last Temptation of Eddie Brock, that was good too. TBD, the new series. The TBD, the new series. Oh, you're asking Sid about the new series? Yeah. Anyway, so Peter, jumped on Donnie for something, and then Donnie jumped back with like the lamest response ever. So I was like, oh, I'm on Donnie's side on this one. And then he's like, Stan Lee did like me, and his like self-congratulatory stuff, like, and I'm just like, oh, dude, like, that's not the response to something like that. Like if someone says like, hey, you're not Stan Lee, your response should be like, okay, well, I'm not trying to be Stan Lee. I'm just, just whatever. I'm just, I think Donny Cates has Excelsior tattooed on his hand. So clearly he's just a giant fanboy. So he speaks in fanboy terms. So to me, I'm just like, he's just being a fan, Peter, like back down. But then but I understand where Peter's coming from. All these people turned on him a couple months ago, or like a couple years ago. So he just feels like he looks like he's trying to just like almost like an "I told you so" kind of attitude, and I just don't like that kind of attitude. I think he's better than that. But I understand why he's just acting emotionally right now, and I don't know. I don't care. I unfollowed all of them. I think I'm still following Peter, but I've unfollowed all of them. I can't stand the bullshit anymore with comic people. It's like I don't care. I don't care what if you're left leaning or right leaning. All I care about is if Eddie Brock is like codependent on the symbiote and the symbiote is codependent on him. That's all I care about. I only care about the stories you're telling with these characters, and that's all I want. I just want the stories, whether I like them or not. I'll still read them for the most part because I'm a fan of the characters, and I just want to see. It's a soap opera. I want to see what's going on in their lives because they're more important to me than you are as a creator. So when this drama happens, I'm just like, I back away. I hate it, man. I'm glad Wonder Woman 82 has at least a release date. For sure. Thoughts on the new Morbius poster? Is that a real thing? I retweeted it, but I'm not sure. Someone said it's from a Comic-Con magazine. What's up, Slipknot fan? How's it going? Echo, here, come here. Oh. All right. Hey, say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Yeah. Say, Echo, how's this trip been for you? Not good, huh? I gave him a bath last night at the hotel while I was doing laundry. They had a laundromat at the hotel, and then I gave him a bath. So that way our car and him and me all smell good when we get to Florida. We don't look like we've been in a car for 6 days. So, hey, what's up, Echo? Sid says hi, Echo. Everybody says hi. Yeah, it looks fan made. I'm pretty sure that the image was from the trailer. Yeah, I don't know. All the images I saw so far look fake. Yeah, I don't know. It's real. I just searched it up. I don't know. Every image people have sent me so far are clearly fake. So if you're talking about Venom 2 stuff, everything I've seen so far looks fake. So if it is real, it's a bad image. Like hopefully they're not real because they look fake. They look super fake. But I'm sure we'll see Venom stuff soon. Like the thing is, they got to figure out movies. Movie theaters, AMC's are closed until June, so they just got to figure out like if they still want to release Morbius in July. Yes, I mean they could do whatever they want with I was kind of hoping Spider-Man would not show up in a Venom movie, but I'm sure he's gonna. So yeah, if he's in the same universe as Venom now, then yeah, he should be in Venom too. So glad the wig has been changed. Yeah, me too. Me too. That wig was rough. Hey, what's up, Josh Drake? How's it going? Well, the Far From Home looks like it was fan made. I'm talking about the Morbius poster. Oh, I'm sorry. The Morbius poster looks yes. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I retweeted it because I was on the road driving, and I probably shouldn't have been checking my phone anyway. But I slowed down because there's like a little area where I was, things slowed down. So I pulled out my phone real quick, turned off the map, Google Map, and then just looked on Twitter. And that was the first thing I saw. So I retweeted it, and then I didn't look at it later till I was like pumping gas, and I go, this doesn't look real, actually. Like, or if it does, it looks real in the sense that like a lot of promotional images now, especially Sony ones, are usually garbage. Like they usually, they're not very good at some of the marketing if they do some of their movies. They get like interns and people who just like make very little money to Photoshop these images together. And yeah, it didn't look good. I love Cletus's Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, Cletus's Hawaiian shirt's good. I think didn't Eddie's mullet, didn't one of the dudes at didn't Bizarnage or someone at Venom site find that shirt on Amazon? You can buy it. You no, you didn't really miss much. We were about 25 minutes of just us rambling. Someone on Instagram posted that it's rumored to release April 1st, Venom 2 teaser. You're going to believe that? April 1st? You're going to believe that? April Fool's Day? You're going to believe that? You're going to believe April 1st? April Fool's Day? April Fool's Day? You're going to believe that? April 1st? Just messing with you. Yeah, don't get your hopes up. When people tell you definitively, hey, this is when something's going to happen, don't believe it, ever. Don't ever believe it. Even if they might turn out to be right, don't ever believe it, ever. That's my motto. I never believe any of it. I wait until movie tracker or whatever, trailer tracker on Twitter, usually like a day or two before, or sometimes 3 days before, they'll say, hey, we got information about a new trailer for Venom. Here's the runtime. Here's the rating. It's going to be on this day. And usually they're pretty accurate. So until they post something, I don't believe anyone. Because like I said, I don't think anyone actually has real sources. Like when they say, oh, I have a source inside Lucasfilm, I have a source inside this, I'm like, I don't believe you. And if you do have someone who works there, I wouldn't consider them a source, because things happen and change every day. So unless your source is Jon Favreau, you probably have 0% accurate information on The Mandalorian season 2. Or if your source is Dave Filoni. But anyone outside of that, they might know one or two little things, but they don't know probably the whole picture. Because that's how things work typically. Like I said, you could just go back. I think Film Gob today just posted a video of like Collider and Josie and all these like kind of, I don't know how else to say it, hack YouTubers. It's just all of them saying like, there's no such thing as Snyder Cut, there's no such thing as Snyder Cut, and then all the way up to present day where it's like, okay, there is a cut of the movie, and now they're all like backtracking what they said, but they were so confident. They're laughing at fans. It doesn't exist. It's probably because someone at Warner Brothers contacted them and said, hey, start telling people that this doesn't exist. And that way the fans will hopefully listen and go away. That sounds like what happened. And it sounds like some PR person from Warner Brothers tried to squash the Snyder Cut movement because they were getting harassed, rightly so. I mean, like some people were getting called at their office, like Walter Hamada and people like that, and they were getting genuinely harassed by a-holes, entitled a-holes. And there are Snyder Cut fans that do, like, they're not as extreme, but that's every fan base. There's the fans that are like, are passionate about it. There's the casual fans, and then there's the extremes on each side. And that's why I hate the world right now, because everything is like politics. Politics are right-leaning, left-leaning, and then you got your center people sometimes, and then you got your extremes. And that's what comic books have. Same 5 groups. Movies, same 5 groups. Music, same 5 groups. So yeah, the world is on a repeat button, and I hate it. It drives me nuts. Everyone's programmed to like just act and say and feel the same way, and I had this. So I'm missing comments, I know. So if I miss them and you really want to repeat them, go ahead and I'll try to read them on the next go around. And the Black Widow leak came from the one that said the release date for the Endgame trailer. So I think it's real, but there's always a chance that's fake. I mean, believe, if you've seen someone be consistently right, I'll take your word for it. You can trust them. Trust them over me, I'll tell you that. I just don't pay attention to that stuff. If I hear about it, like I said, I usually wait till Trailer Tracker posts it. And when they do, I go, okay, so then everyone who's rumoring this is right. But I don't know who exactly rumored it. Like I don't follow up on that stuff because I'm not. So I don't consider myself a tabloid or a scooper. And I think a lot of YouTubers are that. So they don't mind being wrong sometimes, and they don't mind taking a chance on information that they hear, because they'd rather take the chance and be the first one to, say, hey, I'm the one who mentioned that 3 months ago. That gives them clout. I'm not looking for clout on this channel. Like I'm not out there for that kind of stuff. Which superhero movies have, sorry, I missed the comment. It'll pop back up here in a second. So yeah, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm better than them because I'm not a scooper. No. That's just their line of work that they do. It's just not that's not what I want to do on this channel. I'm not out to like scoop something or or be the first at something. But if it happens, I think it's cool. I'm like, hey, cool. I'm the only one who reported that Melora Walters was going to be in Venom 2, and nobody else did. I'm like, that's cool. Like, but that's it. Like, it's just it's like, oh, I did that. Okay, cool. But that's not what I don't seek out to do that every episode. So yeah, I would say hold off on Venom 2 stuff. Let them figure out when they're going to release Morbius. If it still releases in July, if they still announce it for July release and movie theaters open up again, then I imagine Venom's going to be on schedule. That's what I would. We Got This Covered is garbage. Yeah, I don't use them at all. Which superhero movies have you not seen yet? I've seen every superhero movie except the new Hellboy that came out like last year, and I haven't seen Fantastic. I think there's only two, and I'm not kidding. I love comic books, so I try to see them all. But I also try to see other movies too, and not just comic book movies. So like I watched Lighthouse like a month and a half ago. And when I settle into my place in Florida, I want to watch The Hunt because that looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, just I don't know. I like indie movies. Like I love Chopper. I was watching I don't know if you guys watch Fighter and the Kid. It's a great podcast. I really want to see Bloodshot. Slipknot says, yeah, I haven't seen that yet either. I think you can rent it now, so I'll probably rent that this week too. Yeah, I was watching Fighter and the Kid, Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub's podcast, and they had Joel McHale on, and they mentioned a movie called Chopper, which I haven't thought about that movie in like 19 years, but it was like the first time I had seen Eric Bana in a movie, and he plays a guy named Chopper based on a real guy in real life, and it's such a badass movie. That was like when I worked at Blockbuster, the thing I used to do is I would rent all of the single title movies. Fantastic Four Stick is the We Got This Covered of comic movies. Nice. Yeah. You know what's funny about you said a solo Bane thing? I legitimately know that there was a solo Bane TV show pitched to Warner Brothers. And I know that it was a stupid pitch and that the two people who pitched it are fucking hacks. So pardon my language, but yeah, there was a pitch. So I don't know if We Got This Covered found that out or if they just guessed, because that's the thing about We Got This Covered. I don't think they have any sources or anything over there. I had Chopper on DVD, good movie. It's a great movie. I kind of miss Blockbusters too. I know, same lonely. Yeah. But yeah, Chopper, that's a good one. So what was I talking about? I've been going off on tangents tonight. Oh yeah, the Bane solo thing. Yeah, I happen to know that there was a Bane solo TV show pitch that did not have Batman involved, and it actually wasn't even a Bane show. Someone pitched a show, it got rejected, and they thought, hey, you know what's big right now is comic book movies. So since we are getting a Maximum Venom wave, would you like to see a Mania figure? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yes. I would love to see a Andy Benton Mania figure. So they pitched a Bane. So they took their script that they had about a guy in prison, and it was like a prison break story, and they changed it to be Bane. Blockbuster LOL, they said Netflix would never work. Oh, I know. When I was working there, they were like, Netflix, we have nothing to worry about. Redbox is our competitor. And then boom, Redbox and Blockbuster wiped out by Netflix. Yep, for sure. So yeah, they pitched a show. It was bad. So they changed the main character's name to Bane, and they tried to make it a Bane show, and it was worse than the original concept that they had. So I don't know if someone at We Got This Covered heard that rumor, or heard that from someone, but they would have to know some really, really deep people at Warner Brothers to know what I just told you. So yeah, I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, that show never happened, so I'm sure no one cares that I'm talking about it. But yeah, it was like these two hacks were like, we're gonna do a Bane show without Batman. It's like, poof. Joker, that works because it's a movie, and look with the actor they got for it. Could you do a Bane movie, a Bane TV show without Batman? The answer is no. Some people might be like, oh yes, you could with a little bit of this, a little bit. No, you can't. I promise you, because Bane's a cool character, but he's not like the Joker. Like even Two-Face, who's my favorite Batman villain. I don't know if you could make a solo Two-Face movie without Batman. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't know how many people would go see it. I remember the weird Morbius fan art that had him with a gigantic mouth, kind of like the one from Mortal Kombat. Oh, that's right, yeah. Um, in Oregon, what's in Oregon? Are you a vampire movie fan? I love Lost Boys. That's probably the best vampire movie in the world, according to me, because I grew up a goth kid in the late 80s and early 90s. And I love that movie. That was freaking awesome. Joel Schumacher. Um, what else? Yeah, there's a couple vampire movies I like. There was a TV show called Kindred the Embraced that came out like in the late 90s. I really liked that show, but it only lasted one season because the main actor tragically passed away. Um, I love the Blade movies. I love a comic book called Crimson, which Boom Studios. I was working for Awesome Comics, and I tried to buy the rights for Crimson and re-release them in graphic novel form because that was one of my favorite comics when I was in college, and and we couldn't sign a deal. Like we're trying to reach out to Humberto Ramos and Brian Augustine, and Brian Augustine was like, "Oh, Humberto owns all that, so you got to talk to him." But Humberto really didn't like, we were kind of, no, not nobodies, but we were just like, probably he's never heard of us. So he was like, yeah, if I'm going to re-release Crimson, I'm going to do it with a different studio. But we did reach out to him a couple times through a publicist, and nothing happened of it. But then like two and a half years later, Crimson was re-released by Boom in two hardcovers, like 12 issues in each hardcover. So of course I bought them, even though I own all the original single issues and trades, paperback trades. But I love that book so much, and I wanted to be the guy to re-release it. So I was like begging my boss, like, pay whatever we got to pay. It's awesome. I can pitch it. I can sell this. And unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to. So Lost Boys is great. I love that movie. The leech hands were horrifying. Oh yeah. Near Dark. Near Dark's a good one. Fright Night is fantastic. Kindred the Abyss was based on Vampire Masquerade. That's right. Yeah. So I never played or knew about Vampire Masquerade. I only knew about the Kindred show. But then, yeah, when I was watching it, someone told me, like someone at school was like, "Oh, that's like a Vampire Masquerade thing," and I was like, "It is?" Like, so yeah, I had no idea. But it's cool. I own it. I own the DVD of it. See a lot of images that supposedly came from Venom 2 trailer, and the carnage looked awful. Awful. The only real shot was yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, they're fake. I don't know. Yeah, they're fake. There's no trailer. No one's seen a trailer for that movie. So when someone says, "Oh, it's like, no one's seen a trailer for that movie. They're taking their time. They have time to take. Andy Serkis is not working on the Batman movie right now. He had 2 weeks off because they went on hiatus because of the virus. And as far as I know, the Venom 2 movie is still being edited, but only with a select group of people so that they're not gathering a bunch of people in a room in an edit bay and getting each other sick. So as far as I know, that's not for sure confirmed. It's just as far as I've heard from people who I don't even know if they know what they're talking about. So again, don't use me as a source. Salem's Lot's a great one. That's a really great one. Good call. From Dusk Till Dawn is good. I love that. That's a good one. The From Dusk Till Dawn TV show on Netflix is pretty good, actually. You should check it out. You're trying to get a Vampire Masquerade game going. Anyone want to join Sid? Sid is an awesome person, by the way. Make friends, follow each other on Instagram or Twitter, and join her masquerade. I must see Salem's Lot. It's good. It's good. I'll be honest though, a vampire. I know we're talking vampires, but I'm a bigger zombie fan. I grew up with the Romero movies. I grew up near that cemetery from Night of the Living Dead, up near Pennsylvania, and I loved those movies growing up. So much so that they led me to Resident Evil, because George Romero, I found out, was directing commercials for a game called Resident Evil 2, which I had never heard of. So I went to my local game shop and I was like, "What's Resident Evil 2?" And they were like, "Well, it's coming out in like a month, just about a month here in America. So do you want to pre-order it?" And I said, "I do." And I said, "Well, what about the first one? Is there a Resident Evil 1?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, it's there. Of course, there's Resident Evil 2. So of course there's a Resident Evil 1." And I was like, "All right, well, I'll buy that, and then I'll try to beat it before the second one comes out." So if it wasn't for George Romero, I would have never become a Resident Evil fan. Yeah, I never DM'd before, so it'll be interesting. You'll do fine. You'll do fine. I saw last month, very good movie. Yeah. So if you're looking for a cool, containment or quarantine movie that's because I saw a lot of people watching those on Netflix, and I thought that was funny. It's a good example of what Stephen King movie should be. I like werewolves better than Struggle to Control the Beast. The werewolves are freaking awesome. They are awesome. I like werewolves too. But zombies, there's a great movie called Pontypool, if you've never watched it. You're welcome. No problem. What symbiotes would you put in season 3 if you were in charge of it? Season 3 of what are we talking about? Are you talking about Venom? Oh, you talking about Maximum Venom? We don't talk about Twilight though. No, we don't talk about Twilight. You talk about season 3? You mean Maximum Venom? All vampires sparkle, right? Any tips on what not are much appreciated? For DMing? No, I don't know a thing about DMing. You should ask my friend Alex Wilson, Mr. Alex Wilson on Instagram. He DMs. He'd probably help you out. Just tell him you're a friend of mine. Yeah, American Werewolf in Paris. American Werewolf in London is even kind of a fun movie too. Vampire Maximum Venom. Oh, so okay. So season 3 of Maximum Venom. Who would I put in there? Well, I don't know what I can't answer this question. I know a lot of stuff that's happening in Maximum Venom, so I'd rather not answer. I'm sorry to say. I would say the 3 I'm thinking of. You're gonna see them. so I don't know. Yeah. Well, I have my Maximum Venom Gwenom shirt on right now. So she's one I would have liked to seen, but obviously we know she's gonna be in it. But you'll see other ones. I think they've already announced some of them. Scream, I think they've announced. Be careful. Who else did they announce? I think they announced Scream. I can't remember the other ones because I read the article. We covered it like 2 weeks ago, but I don't want to go off memory. Yeah, Maximum Venom. Watch it April 19th. Just give me classic symbiotes and I'll be happy. Yeah, there you go. I want the at least ones known like Scorn, Lasher, Mania, and Hybrid so they can get popular. I mean, that would be cool to see. Thank you. Well, thank Hot Topic. Hot Topic made these shirts. It was funny. Every day driving across country, I was wearing one of my Maximum Venom shirts, and because those were the shirts I had out, so I just had a stack of them. So each day when I was in the car, I would just grab a new shirt, put it on, and get on the road. So last night we were at the last hotel, and I go, dang it, I don't have any of my Maximum Venom shirts washed, so that I can start filming episodes in my new apartment, because I'd like to wear them while I'm filming episodes, so I'm gonna have to do laundry. And so luckily at the hotel last night, I was able to do laundry. So now I have all clean clothes again, starting right now. This is the first one I'm putting on again, and I'll try to keep it clean because I'm only driving for 2 hours tomorrow. But then I gotta unload my car, so I'll probably change shirts so I keep this one clean. Yeah, so, and you guys will see Venom vlog episodes soon, probably like early next week. I gotta finish editing these 2 Superman podcasts for the Patreons, and I want to get those up by Monday morning because they have to go up by the end of the month, which is Tuesday's the last day of the month. So I'm gonna try to get those up. So internet, I think, will be set up Monday morning. Right after the internet guy leaves, I'm gonna get to work. So I mean, I can edit them before he comes, so I'll probably edit them Sunday. And then once internet is there, I'll upload them on Monday. And then once I get those 2 episodes done, I'll get back to Venom vlog stuff. So I just got to do one thing at a time. And I'm thinking about filming a Cribs type episode for Venom vlog of like my new apartment once I get it set up. But I'll talk more about that later. They announced Scream, Scorn, and Mania. Okay, perfect. Those 3 right there then. I really want Patrick Mulligan. I hate that character so much, but I feel like we're going to see him there's a lot of rumors about him being in Venom 2. I don't know if those are true or not, but we saw that little nameplate and stuff. And some people said they think Stephen Graham might be playing him. That would be great. He's a great actor. I hate the character in the comic book of Peter Mulligan. And also because he's kind of a vanity character in a way, because the guy who created Patrick Mulligan is Peter Milligan. And Peter Milligan is the writer who came up with Patrick Mulligan. I'm just like, oh God, pretty lazy. But still, anyway, I never liked the character in the comic. So we'll, a different interpretation of him, I think I might like better. So if Stephen Graham plays a really good character in Venom 2 that eventually becomes Toxin or something, I could probably get behind that. In Maximum Venom, Mania is not evil. Oh, that's cool. Mania wasn't evil. Maniac was, yeah, I was going to say, wait, Mania was never evil. Oh, well, I mean, not true. So Mania is essentially the symbiote from the Daniel Way run, right? So like when that started, it didn't have a name. It wasn't called Mania, but it was a cloned symbiote made from the actual Eddie Brock Venom symbiote. And so we went through that storyline, I think, on my show here. So like, yeah, so there was like Venom, that thing eventually was absorbed into Venom and then later comes off of Agent Venom onto Andy, and you find out that it was that symbiote. So I guess technically it was evil at first. You think Spider-Man 29 movie will be made? Yeah, I do. Uh, I think it'll be called Into the Spider-Verse Part 2. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm assuming he was at the post-credit scene, so I hope they use him in the movie. It's funny. I feel the same way. We've gotten so many Batman stories and Spider-Man stories. The clone symbiote was vicious. Yeah, it was for sure. Setup for Patrick in the comic was great. The solo comic was awful. Yeah, the setup for him was pretty good. And Maxim, what was it? No, it was Venom versus Carnage. He was okay. I mean, okay, he's a cop, and he's got like marital problems and stuff. I'm like, that's fine. But because of that miniseries that came out after the solo one, that killed that character for me. I was like, I don't care about this guy anymore. So maybe there was potential with him in the beginning, but no, it went away fast. Yeah, the family sacrificing thing. I mean, like, yeah, there's like elements there, but I don't know. It felt a little cliche to me too. Like, I don't know. Peter Milligan's he's never been one of those. Right? Anytime he came on a book, like he did a thing with Dupe in the X-Men run for a while, and that's kind of what he became known for a minute, like the ecstatic stuff. And I don't know, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Oh, live action Spider-Man 2099? That's what they should do. No love for Razor Fist? No, hell no. No way. I never read the solo series, maybe it's a good thing. Yeah, no, skip it, Brendan, skip it. Spider-Man live action, thank you for the 9 thumbs up, by the way, everybody. Yeah, I think they should. Like, I'm getting so tired of Spider-Man movies and Batman movies that I wish they would just do Spider-Man 2099 and Batman Beyond. Because it's like, well, they're different characters and they have a different origin, a different setup, but they're still legacy. They're still tied to the original versions of the characters. So I kind of want that. Like, I want that. I just don't think they'll do it. Studios they're weird. They some know nothing about comics, and then the few that do, they look at it purely from a business standpoint, which isn't a bad thing, always, but yeah, but because they look at it through that lens, rarely can you have a character really evolve. To me, Spider-Man and Batman, I mean, if they're not going to do Batman Beyond and Spider-Man 2099, those two franchises need to be like James Bond. I've said that for years. Like, after Spider-Man 3, I'm like, okay, do Spider-Man 4 now. But and then someone's like, well, Sam Raimi's not going to direct it. I'm like, so? And like, well, Tobey Maguire won't be in it. I'm like, so? Like, who cares? Well, what if we can't get Mary Jane back? All right, so then have Peter Parker fall in love with Deb Whitman or something. We can't do that. Sure, you can. You just treat it like James Bond. There's a Bond girl in every James Bond movie. You could have a Spider-Man love interest in every, like, change them out every 2 or 3 movies. So, that way you don't fall into the trap of, oh, well, how come Mary Jane and Peter Parker never got married? And it's like, well, it's because they drifted apart because she got attacked by Venom, and now he's with Deb Whitman, and he's trying to have a stable relationship with her, and then that doesn't work 2 movies later, and you bring in Betty Brant, and then you bring in like a Liz Allen. It's like, yeah, for me, I hope Carnage is unstable tendrils. Yeah, there you go. But you could easily do that with Spider-Man and Batman. You could change out like Batman was doing that for a while. They had like Vicky Vale in the first movie. They had Chase Meridian. She's a character from the comics. I think she was in Batman and Robin. Who was the psychiatrist in the 3rd movie? They had Selena Kyle in the 2nd movie. So, like, I mean, and I never was bothered by that. It's like, well, I mean, I know some people will be like, oh, that's male chauvinistic, to have the guy have a revolving door of girls and stuff. It's like, no, but you can still make it a struggle. You could still make it to where, like, Bruce wishes he didn't screw things up with previous girlfriends, or maybe because he did, he's afraid to get close to this new girlfriend. You can still have it, even if you have different actors. Like, James Bond's really good at that. They just kind of just roll with it. They're like, whatever. We reference characters in old movies sometimes, and other times we don't. We're getting a fan animated version of Spider-Man 4. Is that what you said? People need to let go of things. That's my biggest issue with fans. So a lot of people who are younger, I don't know. It's weird. I see them hunger for these things that it's like, you should really let that go. Like, Spider-Man 4 by Sam Raimi. Like, hey, I wrote a script for that movie. Okay, let it go. It's like it's not important. You don't need it in your life. You don't need to know what happens to that Spider-Man. Now, if they want to put that Spider-Man into Spider-Verse 2 and have Tobey Maguire voice him, that's a good way to bring that back and kind of give you some form of closure if that's what you're looking for. But I don't, like, let go of things. Like, nothing is yours, first off, and secondly, nothing's owed to us as fans. So, and as a comic book fan, I think I'm just used to it because reading comics for 30 years now, you're used to it. Like, you're used to writers switching out on books, storylines not being finished, books being canceled. So I think years of that have just taught me, all right, if it ends, whatever. Like right now, comic books are in big trouble because of, printers are shutting down, Diamond Distribution is shutting down. Marvel and DC people are working from home, but they're really just planning, I guess, for future stories after this crisis passes. And it's like, I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say. Carnage should look like Steve Wang bust. Oh, there you go. Threw it down a well and buried it. Oh man, geez, that seems extreme. But yeah, the comic book industry is just hurting right now, and even now, like I was talking to my friend Gene earlier when I was driving, and he said, "Well, what if these writers get fired and their stories that they just started don't finish?" And I'm just like, eh. Like, I hate hearing about people losing their jobs, and I know that's happening worldwide right now, and it sucks. It sucks so bad. I do not like hearing about people lose their jobs. Finding a job is very hard sometimes. It's very hard for someone like me to find a job sometimes who wants to, even if they don't say that's the reason, but who really wants to give a job to a guy who could drop dead on them, from overexertion or another aneurysm or whatever. So yeah, finding a job is hard. So when people get doxxed, their lives are ruined, or they're getting harassed at their jobs. I hate that more than anything. Putting someone's life on the line in that way to where it could ruin them financially and cause them to, something bad to happen to them. It could, cause them to go down a spiral of depression because no one will help them. They could kill themselves. It could kill other people. Look at Eddie Brock. That's why we do the show about Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock fell from, he was rising to the top and his life, boom, plummeted. That's why I like talking about him and making this show about him, because that's very relatable and it's very real. And it's scary, the idea that tomorrow your life is over, that all your friends turn their backs on you, they call you names, maybe they make up lies about you to make themselves feel better for walking away from you and destroying your friendship. Thinking about all that, it's scary. Isolation is scary. It's a scary thought. We're all designed to be connected to each other in some way. So to be isolated by the people you felt a connection to is terrible. What do you think of Snowflake and Safe Space? I think you might have missed my stream. Siike had the means. Oh, I know. I think you missed my stream. I did a live stream 2 nights ago, and I mentioned Safe Space and Snowflake. I do not like their names at all. I think the writer, I'm curious. I'm wondering if he's making fun of people who feel like outcasts for the way they are, or is he 100% sincere and he's just that bad at writing and creating characters? Either answer is awful, and I think that guy has his hand so far away from the pulse of just what anybody would want in comics that he should be fired. Like, honestly, like, I know someone was like, oh, he wrote a book about a gay Santa and he worked on the Stephen Colbert show. I'm like, I don't care who he is, and that's great that he did all that other stuff, but this is what I'm looking at. And the designs, the artist did a terrible job at designing. The color schemes don't even go well together. The designs don't even look right. Like, they look kind of New-Godish, but there's no reason to look New-Godish. You make the Asian kid the tech of the team. You literally call the fat girl Trailblazer. I'm like, is that supposed to be? I guess there's irony in that, but it seems offensive, like, on some level too. Like, I don't know. It's I think that guy, his heart was in the right place of wanting to make a team of progressive characters. That's fine. I ain't gonna stop anyone from doing that, just like I wouldn't stop someone from making a team of non-progressive characters. I don't care. As long as they're interesting characters and there's a good dynamic between them and there's good dialogue and good action or whatever the story calls for, I'm on board. I don't care. But I think just, wow, I've never seen anyone quadruple down on something. So I think he just doesn't have his hand on the pulse of, of what anybody wants to read. I mean, I'm sure there will be some people who will read the book and like it. I mean, that's the thing about art. It's like throwing darts at a dartboard. You're gonna hit some fandom by throwing darts. You're gonna be like, all right, I threw 3 darts, one stuck, so that 10% of comic fans are gonna love it. That happens with everything. So that's what sucks, is that some people know that and they go, hey, it doesn't matter. We'll find our fans. We'll do whatever we want and we'll find our fans. It's like, okay, that's great that you want to find a niche group of fans, but if you're trying to make money at something, your goal should be bigger. It should be casting a wider net. That's just business 101. That's marketing 101. That's storytelling 101. You just want to cast the widest net possible. Yeah, Daniel Kibblesmith, is that his name? Kibblesmith is not right for Marvel. No, yeah, these characters are poorly executed. That's my only critique of it, is like, really, those are the designs? And like, I don't care that a character's non-binary. Doesn't bother me at all. Are they a cool character? Then tell me a cool story with them. But if they're non-binary and they're dressed like that and they're called Snowflake, it's kind of like, and her power is to only create snowflake shurikens. But I'm like, but she could probably make a sword made of ice. She could probably do a whole lot of things made out of ice. Why would she be limited to just shurikens? That makes no sense. Cena Grace come up with that. Cena Grace is a really nice guy. I've met him a ton of times. Met him at conventions. He's actually working on a book with my former boss right now called Come Together or something like that. It's coming out from Image like later this summer probably. Siike, have you ever spoken about the original pitch for Venom as a character? Apparently it was going to be a woman who lost her baby after she was caught in a crossfire. I've never talked about that actually. I have not. Well, I have to look that up because I can't remember where that came from. Is that a real thing? We've talked about Randy Schuler designing the black costume, but we have not talked about that. Are we talking about Are we talking about this new Marvel character? Yes, we are Symbiote Slayer. That's what we've been talking for an hour now. So I figured it would eventually pop up. I did. Did I? Maybe I did. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember what I did last week. Yeah. But I did talk about Safe Space and what's her name, Snowflake the other day. I mean, I thought it was a joke at first. I was like, oh, we're being made fun of, and people are being made fun of. I think it's a mean-spirited joke. And then I found out it was a real thing, and I was like, like, because typically when you have an editor on a book, you'll go to someone like Daniel Kibblesmith and go, hey, we know you're a Marvel fan. You work for Stephen Colbert. He's a Marvel fan. You visited the office before. All of this, I'm guessing, I have no idea if any of this is true, but they're probably like, hey, and you wrote that Santa book that was, got a lot of press and sold a lot of copies or whatever. I don't know the story behind that one, but it's like, okay, would you like to, here's a couple ideas we're trying to do. We're trying to do a new Warriors book. We're trying to do like a new Slingers book, whatever. They're going to be like, here's a couple things we want to work on. Do you have a take on any of these? And he's probably like, oh, New Warrior sounds cool. I remember that title from when I was a kid. And then he came up with this and he gave it to an editor. And then the editor's job is supposed to go, hey, man, I get what you're going for here. But Snowflake, I understand you're trying to turn like a negative into a positive or whatever. Like, I get the message. But some people are going to think you're making fun of them. And you probably want to rework that. It just comes across too on the nose and a little lazy. And those words may sound harsh, but as an editor, I'm supposed to get the best work out of you. So that way the best version of this story gets to the readers. Because how cool would that have been if all the people who were like, screw these characters, they look stupid, blah, 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 blah. But there's actually a good story behind it. And the names of the characters were cool names and the designs of the characters were cool designs. And because you would have those people who would just complain because they're, because it's a non-binary character or they think it's forced diversity or something. You would have all those people complain, but then maybe at the heart of it, there was real work put into it. From what I saw in that trailer, I don't think real work was put in. I feel like a first draft was given and everybody said, yay, let's make it. And that's not good. That's why, so bringing back to Venom, Donny Cates, a lot of times when I read his comics, I know a lot of you guys out there like his stuff, but to me, they come across as first drafts. She's Trailblazer. Yeah, Trailblazer. That's right. One of the characters. How in the hell does that get through the editor? Then Casada and CB Cebulski. It gets through because everybody is so happy about the message, which I'm not against the message. I've been reading X-Men since I was a kid. I was made fun of for being poor when I was a kid, even though we weren't really that poor, but I just didn't have, sometimes I didn't have nice clothes and I got made fun of. So most of my friends were minority kids who were made fun of too, because I lived in the South. So they'd make fun of me and like a black kid named Terrence. So me and Terrence became best friends. And then they made fun of me and then a Filipino kid named Danny. And then me and Danny became best friends. So almost my friends growing up, my bestest of friends growing up were not white kids at all. And so when I see that stuff in comics, I'm like, that's great, because I know Danny was a big X-Men fan, but he always did wonder, where's the Filipino X-Men character? So I'm all for some form of diversity and stuff and a message and a story. But good God, don't be so lazy and obvious with it, because you're just fueling the fire for the other side who wants to argue against, diversity. And I don't think most people have a problem with diversity anyway. I think that's another misconception. I think most people are fine if you have a gay character or a black character or an Indian character. Like, I don't think people care, as long as it's that hard work was put into it and it shows and it looks cool and it turns out to be cool. The problem with New Warriors is that it just looks like a first draft, and it looks like a bunch of people who don't even go outside and talk to other people. They just read what they see on Twitter, and they decided to make a comic book about that. And it's like, yeah, no, that's that Twitter should not be your window into how humanity is at all. And if it is, then you should not be writing fiction, because then you are proven to me that you cannot tell the difference between fiction and reality. So yeah, no, you're right. I think that Kibble Smith guy, for all I know, if you gave him a Captain America book, it would be the best run on Captain America since Brubaker, for all I know. But you gave him New Warriors and you told him to create new characters and they look terrible. I have to wonder if the editors are just locked in a basement somewhere. Did you know Tom Hardy was going to be a Venom screening you went to? No. Is Andrew still in here? Andrew, so I got invited to 3 screenings of Venom that week. I think one was at Sony, maybe. I think one was at Burbank Theater. And then was it at Sony? I can't remember. There was one at Burbank, and then there was the one that I went to at the Grove. So the only reason I went to the Grove one, I wasn't feeling well that day. And so I took a nap, and my friend Andrew was like, hey, I'm down here. There's nobody here. And I was like, okay, well, I took a nap. My head's feeling a little bit better. Maybe I'll just drive down there, because it's like, screw it, why not? I mean, I had the day off work anyway, coincidentally. So I was like, I'll just go down there. I'll hang out with Andrew. We'll have fun. We'll watch the movie, and that'll be that. So, but I went there and I still brought like a comic book. And the other reason I was hoping he would be there. I would say that I didn't know he would be, but I was hoping, because I used to work at the Grove. Next to the Grove is I can't believe I'm blanking on this now. It's CBS, and they filmed American Idol there and Dancing with the Stars, and that's where I worked, was on Dancing with the Stars. So I know that, I think the James Corbin show or some show films there, and when they have celebrity guests, sometimes they go over into the Grove and do things and film it. So I was like, well, it's weird that they would do the screening at the Grove, because typically if they do something at the Grove, someone shows up, or they do something like, the writer of the movie will come out, or the director or whatever. So I was hoping he would show up, but I didn't know for sure, to answer your question. So it was purely awesome coincidence, and thanks to Andrew, I was able to have that interaction with Tom and get that intro that we use on the show. And then I went to the Burbank one the next night with my roommate, because I was like, hey, maybe he'll show up at this one, but he didn't. Tom didn't, but it was still a fun screening, and that's where they gave us I think they gave us all the masks there too. So yeah. I think it's about time for me to go to bed, actually. I've been driving about 9 to 10 hours a day. And then what the worst part is I've been losing an hour, because I'm driving from West Coast to East Coast. So my second day I was driving, and I was like, wait, why is the sun going down? It's only like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And it was like, oh, it's 7, because now I'm in a new time zone. And then I went into Central time zone, and then I went into today East Coast time zone. So So yeah, I pulled into the hotel right as the sun was going down, because the problem is I still am having seizures and I'm prone to seizures. So driving at night with cars, lights flashing at me could really screw me up. Best name ever. Stay safe, Slayer. Okay, stay safe. Bye. Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. So I guess I'll go to bed now. Yeah, welcome to the East Coast. Our time zone blows. Sweet dreams, Siike. I hope you stay safe. You're in my time zone now. Sweet. Well, good. Um, I will tomorrow night. Maybe I'll do a live stream at my new apartment after I move everything in. Either I'll do it tomorrow night or I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it. Well, I can't, because I don't know if I can do it without internet. So I'll probably have to do it Monday. So I guess this weekend I'll just be working on my new apartment, but I'll film some stuff and maybe I'll edit together a video and have it for you guys on Monday as well. But I got to really focus on the podcast first, but those I just have to edit. So those shouldn't be an issue. I should be able to finish those Sunday night. So once I do, then on Monday, I'll start working on Venom vlogs for you guys. Sequel, man, that was so lucky you went to the screening. It was, but I got to thank Andrew for getting me off my butt. You missed my new warrior's name for you. Oh, did you say Slayer? Is Slayer my new warrior's name? So glad you met Tom. What's my new warrior's name? And by the way, I love the new warriors, the team. I saw Daniel said something in his video. He was like, oh, when I saw that book when I was a kid, they seemed too cool for me. I'm like, it's a comic book, dude. Go read it. I mean, I know he's just making a joke, like, oh yeah, they're the cool kids, you know. And it's like, dude, own up. You're writing comic books. That's a cool thing. No, it's friend of minorities, man. I mean, it's an accurate name. I mean, sure. I mean, if you're gonna name, if Daniel Kibblesmith named me, that's what it would be. It would be ally. They would call me ally. I think that's a term that people use, like when they're like you know, if you're friends with LGBTQ, you know, people, which I am, you know, so it's like I think they would call me ally because that's on the nose, right? So yeah, yeah, I know. You just can't be that obvious. We did a thing, so I'll tell you this story real quick before I go. There was a comic book. By the way, if you haven't read Monomyth, it's my comic book that I released like 5 or 6 years ago. And the trade paperback, you can go to my Twitter or my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram, there's a link in my bio for Dropbox. You can download the whole graphic novel there, the whole thing. It's like 100 and something pages. Go check it out. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you know, have a YouTuber that covers comics that you like, feel free to send them the Dropbox link. I'm going to leave it up for free during the quarantine so that people have something to check out that I've written. There was another book after that I wrote with my friend Gene, who lives here in Florida. And the book is called The Last Time Traveler. And so what we did was we had our main character, who was from the future. I don't want to tell you too much about the story because I don't want to give away a free story for someone, because the book, I don't know if it's going to come out or not. We finished it. It was completely drawn and everything. But I don't know if my former boss is going to release it. He said he might do a Kickstarter for it at some point. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, so the guy, he's a time traveler. He comes back to present day, right? Alon Vital, yeah, that one's still available. I'm gonna edit that to get, now that I'm not working for the next 3 months. I'm gonna finish my King of Neverland book, and I'm gonna finish editing Alon Vital as a series of YouTube episodes. So you'll have music, voice acting, you'll have all that stuff spliced in together. So be on the lookout for that later this summer for sure. So The Last Time Traveler is it has this guy who goes back in time. He's with a woman present day, and it's like a buddy cop story where they're trying to save time because time is collapsing all around them or whatever. So we built up these characters, and we showed you, like, you know, what kind of character he is. He kind of like he screwed something up in his life in the future, and you find out him being sent to the past is like tied to that, and then you have the girl who's like she's like a scientist, but she's helping the person. I don't like I said, I don't want to get too much into it, but the two of them, we built them up as characters, and you get to see what they're like in certain situations, how they react to things, you know, what they would do, how heroic they are, and we tell you all that stuff. And then in the last issue, when there's a scene where it looks like it's, you know, the cliche moment, the guy grabs the girl and he goes to kiss her. It looks like that is about to happen, and then they kind of like look at each other, and they kind of stop, like they both stop, you know, and they're looking at each other, and she goes, you know, like, I'd kiss you, but I'm gay. And he goes, oh, I'm gay too. And she goes, oh, you are? And he goes, yeah. And then she goes, okay. And he goes, so good luck, partner. And they like fist bump, like I don't, that's not exactly how it went, but it went something like that. And so then they go off and they, the story ends and they save the world or whatever. But the thing is we went the Kevin Smith route, which that's what we wanted to do because we added a lot of humor into it. So we built the characters as characters, much like he did with Brody in Chasing Amy. And so you're like, oh, I like Brody. He's a great character. He's kind of antagonistic. He's losing his best friend to a girl. So like he's mad about that. And then at the end, Ben Affleck suggests, hey, why don't we all have a threesome together? And then you find out that Brody is gay because he's into it. And so Kevin Smith tells a great story about that, where some guy in the audience watched it and says, wait a minute, I love the Brody character, but what, now he's gay? And he goes, that doesn't make any sense. Or maybe it's not Brody. I can't remember what character Jason Lee plays in Chasing Amy, but he's like, yeah, he's like, and then Kevin Smith goes, well, it means just like my character, you're gay, dude. So you're telling me a character doesn't have to be built based on their sexuality. I mean, that's exactly our thing. Like I have one of my best friends, Erica, is gay, and she's an actress and she's an awesome, awesome person. And I've written her, like we designed Lucifer in Monomyth based on her, because I was like, oh, if they ever make a movie of this, like an animated movie or something, like you should play the character. So I kind of modeled it around her because I always thought Erica would make a great Storm from the X-Men, or Chitara from Thundercats. And turns out she's a big fan of both of those characters. So, but that's one thing we talked about all the time was like, representation. And, she's like, hey, I don't need it, and stuff, but it's cool to have it. Just not, like most gay people I've talked to are like, yeah, I just don't want it to be obvious or on the nose because it feels like it's insulting on some level, or you're just doing it to do it. I'd rather the character be a cool character also. And once I was told that, I was like, well, that's how I'll write them. So me and Gene, talked back and forth a lot about making these characters first, because that's what's important. That's who they are. My thing, what I hear a lot of actors say is, I want to portray a character so that way when I make a decision, you understand why I make that decision in the movie or story or video game or whatever. So we focused on that. We were like, let's have them in this scenario so you can see their reaction, so that when they're in this scenario in issue 2, they react this way and you understand because it was already set up in issue 1. So we focused on them as characters. And then at the end, we kind of put that moment in of like, to kind of deviate from a cliche moment of two people kissing, to be like, all right, good luck. And they kiss and like, it's all dun, 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 and then they go off and save the day. We wanted to have a little fun with that moment. And we were trying to figure out what we could do. And I just said, why don't we just make them both gay? And that's why they don't kiss. Because we were trying to come up with a reason for them not to kiss. And I said, what if they're just both gay? And Gene goes, that's amazing. And I go, yeah. And he goes, because we haven't set that up at all. Like, yeah, we don't even make that part of their characters, whether they're gay or straight. And I go, well, why would we? Like, and he's like, I know. So we landed on that. But yeah, to me, that's how you handle characters. I thought Kevin Smith did it really well in Chasing Amy. So we were just kind of mimicking kind of that formula. I don't know if it would have been, people might not have liked it, it might not have been their cup of tea still, but we try to make it to where you were locked in with these characters for 3 issues. So you hopefully already liked them as characters, so that when you learn something like this about them, you don't care, because most people don't care like that. And that's how I feel. Like if someone comes up to me and the first thing they say is, hey, I'm gay, I'm like, well, we could get there, dude. You don't have to tell me right away. I'm not going to walk up and go, hey, I'm straight. Like, it's like, but I'm glad you are, and that's great. Let's have a conversation. But typically, you get to know somebody first, and you base your opinions of them on who they are as people, right, and as characters, and then you peel the layers back later on. But that's how you also challenge yourself as a person. You learn something about them, and it might open up your eyes to something, and that's how I've always learned from people. So yeah, I don't know if it would have been great, but it was just our way of doing that, and having 2 gay characters who essentially save the world at the end, but without saying like, this is a book about 2 gay characters who save the world. It's a book about 2 people who save the world, and then in the last issue you find out they're gay, because it's not really that big of a deal. The world's freaking ending. That's a much bigger deal. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully one day it gets released, and you guys hopefully will be able to check it out. But anyway, that's it. That's for me. That's my storytelling time is over. Thanks for being in here. 11 likes. Thank you so much. That was a massive problem with Marvel doing the Marvel Now era. The general public isn't used to clever writing. Well, we were writing a sci-fi story, so we already knew we were writing for like the Doctor Who crowd and the Star Trek crowd. So we were trying not to be dumb and blunt. And it was hard for me because I'm a dumb and blunt writer. So thank God Gene was there. And that's why sometimes it's fun to write with other people, because they help you grow, as a writer. I don't care if someone loves a coffee table, but I don't need you to exactly. Yeah, right. Echo loves to pee on coffee tables, so I got to be careful in my new apartment when I get my new coffee table. He's asleep right now, by the way. He slept all day in the car, and I was jealous because like for the first 4 hours I was okay, but then my check engine light came on again, and we had just got my car fixed yesterday, and when we were in Arkansas. So I was pissed that I have to now, when I drive to Orlando tomorrow, after we unload the car, I'm gonna have to go drop off the U-Haul and then probably go get my car fixed again. It's like, yeah, but at least it made it here. At least we got here. Anyway, yeah, there's people outside. Hey, what's up, Nova? How's it going? I hope the book comes out. I'm sold. Oh, one more thing. Scream is fighting Sandman in the next issue. Ooh, yeah. By the way, I will pick up the first trade of Scream. I'll pick that up at some point. I have a list of things I need to get, so I'll probably pick that up and catch up on that with you guys. Oh, one more thing. Oh, that should be on a shirt. Yeah, it should. Wait, Sandman. Which Sandman? Probably the Sandman from Spider-Man, I'm gonna guess. So anyway, thank you guys very much. I'm gonna go to bed, and I don't want to talk too late while other people in the hotel are trying to go to bed. The real one, also the Neil Gaiman one. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys very much. I'll do, like I said, I'll try to do another live stream on Monday night, and so I won't have any content till then. But I appreciate all you guys being here, and keep up with me on Instagram and Twitter at Venom Vlog, and check out my free comic book. If you go to Twitter, it's my pinned comment on my Twitter page, and if you go to Instagram, it's in my bio. Download the link, check out Monomyth, and let me know what you think of it. Thanks so much. See you in the future. Peace.